file.
What does the number stand for?
Okay, you're jumping ahead, but
Oh,
the
sorry.
number, okay, I'll tell you. So I ran into this issue. Basically, what I wanted to do was have one builder, for example, for the coins, where I could use that builder to create a coin, but then I needed some easy way to encode the position of that coin. So I can have one coin per block, and I can say the coin will be on the top, it'll be on the right, bottom, or left. The top is 1, the right is 2, the bottom is 3, and the left is 4. So for example, the example we had there, if I wanted the coin, let's find other, coin, you'll notice that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, row 5, column 3 is the square, this bit right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, row 5, column 3 is where I'm going to put the coin. So just to be clear, this layout is these things are exactly in the same position in each of their individual tables. So if I want a coin and I want to move this coin to the top, I would put a coin in this, I'd put a coin marker in the other table at the same position as that block, but I would change it to C1 because 1 is the position for the coin at the top. Now I'm going to have to show you this code so it makes sense. Now when I load it, the coin is at the top. So
Okay.
basically, I knew that for certain elements in my game, I would want to position things in a certain way. And I wanted to keep the signatures consistent. So every signature is 3 characters, where it's a letter, an underbar, and then a number. If there's not supposed to be anything there, it's just 3 underbars. 3 underbars. So, and I'll show how that gets decoded in just a moment.
Okay. So, but basically, anybody watching this could say, "Oh, I see the concept of what he's doing," and then they could create their own system.
Yeah, yeah. There's a million ways to create levels, but what I wanted to create was for this discussion something that was very straightforward. You could look at it and go, okay, I know that S1 is in this position, and I know X is a spike. Okay, so the spike is going to be in the same position as the square, and it's going to be on side 3, which is 1, 2, 3. 3 is on the bottom. Okay, that's what I wanted. No, wait. I wanted to put the spikes on the left, so let's make that X4. Save it, reload it, and now the spikes are on the left. Very simple. People can go in here and quickly copy these and play with them. Not even have to know how the code works. That's the beauty of this, is once the code is in place, all you got to do is lay out these files, and you're done with the level creation. That's nothing more you need to know. However, at this point, people are like, I don't know how it works, and I do need to know. So let's take a look at this. Level loader. So level loader, as you recall, was called from this portion of our code. So we require the level loader, and then we call this function get, and we pass it the number of the current level that we're trying to load. Now the level loader, its job is to read these tables and to turn them into useful information that can be used by the builders. So let's take a look at how that works. So if we open up level loader and we look on line 46, we'll see the beginning of the function get. It takes a number, level num. First thing it does is it creates a blank table called level. Could have called it anything. And then it defines some functions here. Let me just review here quickly. Right, so I generate 2 functions. One called convert to level records, and another one called finalized level. And then if I skip past that for just a moment, below that, basically, I run convert to level record, and I load the platforms subtable. So I require data.level, which is, let me find the file here. what that statement is saying is it says, look in the data folder, find a file that starts with level, but then we append the level number, so it's basically a require to data level 1 or level 2. So that'd be the same as if I typed like level 2. The standard require statement. So what I'm doing here, just to be clear, is I'm dynamically in the code telling it which file to require, and it's going to load that file. Now, it may have already been previously loaded into memory, but if not, it'll actually go out onto the quote-unquote disk, read it, and then return whatever is in that file, if it returns something, as an argument to this function. So at this point, this will return, if we were on level number 1, it would return this table right here, which has 3 subtables. And then, I take that value, that return value, and I extract just the dangers table, or just the platforms table, which then for level 1 means that it would pull out just this part right here, this table that we defined, and extracts that, and then it passes it into the function that I'm calling. Yes. Okay, ding means people understand. Great. So again, level loader get takes a variable called level num, which contains a number. I take that and I append it using the dot dot to a string called data.level, which turns this into a valid file name, data level 1, data level 2, etc. I then pass that string, that new string that was just generated, into the require function, standard Lua function. That will load the module. The module is going to be level 1 or level 2 in this case, because those are the only levels that we have. So it assembles all the stuff just like we looked at, and then it passes back a table containing subtables. We then take that table and pull off just one of the subtables by using the dot notation. So in this case, I want the platforms subtable. So that whole bit of code right there gets replaced with the contents of this table right here.
And I see this is how you are turning off dangers and turning them on according to what you want in the commons file, right?
Yeah, exactly. So as you can see here, there's a variable called load dangers and load others, which is in the common. And if these are false, then this line here doesn't execute, or this line here doesn't execute. But I always load the platforms. That's the base minimum for this game.
It took me a moment. I was like, why is he loading that line? But then he's conditionally loading these other lines, and then I was like, oh, well, you need the platforms to even have a game. So okay.
So I'm going to skip over this one bit for now, but convert to level records. The function that we defined above, we're going to look at it in just a moment. It does this special calculation. For the platforms, you'll recall that there's a special marker that says where the player starts. Now, we're using a camera that tracks the player, but for the camera to be in the right place and the player to be in the right place when the level loads, because we can put our player anywhere, we need to keep track of where the player was. So we can sort of like shift the world to where the player is when we start. We're not going to talk too much about this today, but because I need, in essence, to shift the world around, I need to know where that player is. So convert to level record looks for that specific marker for the player, and if it finds it, it will return an X and a Y value for the position of the player. So just for now, you can forget about this, but if people are reading this and they're saying, why does this one have center row, center column, but the other ones don't? It's because the platform subtable will have a marker in it that defines the position of the player, and that is supposed to be the center of our world. Everything else revolves, in a sense, around that center. And because we don't know where that's going to be in advance, we need to calculate it when it happens, or figure it out when it happens, and extract it. So that's what that does. Then, as you noted, we have the load dangers flag and the load other flag. And these two statements are exactly the same. Basically what they do is they convert those records into useful information. Got a little lost there, sorry. They basically extract the dangers table or the other table, and then they process them. So let's take a look in a moment at how this works. The only other step here is after we've converted these sort of not interesting, just three markers into useful data, then we have to take that converted data and actually build our level, or